Tuesday, Terry Tuesday.
That's it.
Yes, Terry. It's not Taco Tuesday, but Terry Tuesday. You muted yourself right away, Terry?
Well, yeah, I didn't want you to have the echo.
Yeah, I haven't heard it yet today, so let's just play it by ear. If it starts to echo, I'll let you know.
Okay.
All right. And if anybody in the comment section hears any echo, please let us know. But so far, it's only mild, Terry.
Okay.
You ready for a big, long card today? It's nice and warm. Here it is starting to echo, my friend, unfortunately. I don't know why that is. But it is going to be a nice card today at the Parx. Sunny, warm, only a few scratches today. So hopefully we should have a really good, strong day of racing. There has not been any additional scratches since the early scratches, so nothing to drive us absolutely crazy. Right, Terry? You're on mute, my friend. I muted you. Right? Yeah, because you were echoing, so I muted you.
Yeah, it hadn't been too bad. I was really glad there wasn't any really late changes. So,
All right, so 11 race card, a lot going on there, Terry. Let's pull up our picks for today and see what we like.
All right.
Starting in race number 1, which is a 6 furlong race, claiming 15,000. It's a purse of 28 grand. If you look at Parx, they've run plenty of 6 furlong races. In fact, so far, they've put 169 of them on paper, 113 of which were won by horses that like to get close to the front out of the gates. 56, in fact, went wire to wire. So far, of the 169 races, only 14 have won from the rail. So a little bit of a pretty much a big rail penalty there. For some reason, you do get a slight bonus from posts 2 and 3, and then you get a minor penalty if you run from 4 and out. We both are going to start with the same horse again today, Terry. That worked out nicely yesterday.
It did. So let's get going here. Anyway, I like the number 4, Still Having Fun. He has done well in the past at Parx Racing. The distance is no problem, and he drops in class today. Has a high percentage winning trainer, switches to a high percentage winning jockey, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And then I like number 1 as my second pick, Passage Lines. He won his last race at Parx Racing and has a trainer who wins 17% of the races with a claim when he has a horse that's been in a claiming race and won. Then I like number 2, Knockout Kick. He had a disappointing last race after being off since March 2021, but he probably needed that race, and he has had several good workouts prior to this race. He has a high percentage winning trainer who in the last 14 days has a record of 2 wins out of 4 starts. And he drops in class today. And then my 4th pick, number 7, Rack Gin. He finished 3rd versus similar in his last race. And the jockey who in the last 7 days has a record of 23 starts, 6 wins, 3 seconds, and 2/3.
All righty. Well, I like you. We're going to start by still having some fun today, Terry. Look out. If you look out, it looks out of form on paper if you look at it. But when the last time he dropped in class and the last time that Ruben Silveira rode this horse. Number 5, Float On, did tie for the top last race speed figure. The resume says that Float On will float up with its performance in race 2 off the bench. And the worst case scenario should be just as good as the last one, which was good enough. 7, Rack Gin, 3rd choice in race number 1. Been competitive at the allowance, $25,000 level in drops, so should be even more competitive at this level. And then finally, number 2, Knockout Kick, has a ton of back speed, was off for more than a year, flashed some strong speed in the first race after a year off. If he runs back to his ability, could make easy work of this group, but that might be a big ask for that horse the way it tailed off in that last spot. Race number 2 is 6.5 furlongs, claiming $7,500 for a purse of 20 grand for fillies that are 3 years old or fillies and mares 4 years old and up, which have never won 2 races. In the profile of a 6.5 furlong Parx winner, 112 races, 71 of which won by horses with speed. 35 of the 112 going wire to wire. You do get a slight rail bias here, but the rest of the post positions are fair. Take us through your thoughts on race number 2, Terry.
All right. I like number 4. Don't Tell Frankie. She's won 2 races in a row, so she's going for a hat trick. And she has the highest last speed rating and a high percentage winning trainer. Then I like number 1, Without a View. She has finished in the money in 4 out of the last 5 races, winning one of the starts, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Then number 8, Miss Alex. Her best start speed is close to the average winning speed. And then number 2, Fall Campaign. The shorter distance could help her today.
All righty. For me in race number 2, I'm going to kick it off with number 3, Lady Bernadette. It's not even on your ticket there, Terry, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for me, but it is a thing. This one has a chance, I believe, based upon its early pace figures, to jump out to the front and never see another horse in front of her. Number 4, your top pick, my second choice in race number 2, Don't Tell Frankie. Won 2 in a row and improved her early pace numbers in her last 1 maintenance workout since her last. Seems unlikely to me to win 3 in a row after taking 9 starts to win the first one. Number 1, Without a View, is my third choice. Last race was better than it looks on paper and has the same fractions at 7 furlongs as it did at 6.5. So according to my logic, that's actually running faster. And then finally, my last horse in race number 2 is the 8, Miss Alex. Ran the same fractions at 7 furlongs as she did at 5.5 furlongs, along with some better early pace numbers as well. Does also have some back late pace class. So horse, if it puts it all together, Miss Alex might be in the winner's circle. What's up, Sean Prince? How are you this morning? Good to see you again. You guys are okay? Yeah, we're okay. We had a nice holiday. You know, a little bit nutty around Chicago yesterday, as everybody saw in the news up there in Highland Park, about 27 miles from me. Hopefully, all the people up there, I don't know, I just wish people would stop being nutty, right, Terry? Just leave people the hell alone. If you're going to go crazy on yourself. There's plenty of bridges around here. There's a big lake. You could go put some boots on and go jump in the lake if you want and never come back up, if that's how you feel. But personally, I think you should go get help. Race number 3 is 6 furlongs. It's an allowance $8,000 race, as we mentioned, with 6 furlongs. There have been a lot of them. You probably don't want to be on the rail, but you do want to be fast. And that pretty much wraps up the profile of a winner, as we discussed at the start of the first race. This is my long shot of the day here, Terry. Number 3, it's the second race in a row where I have the 3 and you don't. So one of us is going to be happy, the other not so much. But the Big S is coming off the bench, making the second start, is following the same exact pattern that it ran last time off the bench. First start was at Monmouth Park, ran a 68 speed figure, went off to Parx in race number 2, and then ran at 82. Well, this time around, it came off the bench at Monmouth again, ran a 68 speed figure again, and returns to Parx, where last time he followed this path, jumped his number up a lot, ran at 82, but he's won 2 of 3 races at Parx, 10-1 morning line, and my long shot of the day. What do you say, Terry?
All right. Well, in race number 3, I like number 6, Flat Lucky. He has been racing at Oaklawn Park, comes to Parx racing for the first time, switches to a high percentage winning trainer who wins 35% of the time when he drops a horse off of a claim, and he has a good 4 furlong workout June 25th. Then I like number 1, Franz Warrior. He likes Parx racing, winning 9 out of 22 starts here, and he ran second in his last race, has a high percentage winning jockey, and he has the highest last race speed rating. Then I like number 7, Fox Red. He has a high percentage winning trainer, switches to high percentage winning jockey, and he could improve with this shorter distance. And my 4th pick is number 5, Kate's Golden Dude. He had a disappointing last race after coming very wide into the stretch, but he has a high percentage winning trainer, the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters.
Charles, ask a simple question. You say, I'm just going be flat lucky in race 3. Why can't we be flat lucky in every race? Why just race 3? All right. For me, in race number 3, I started off with the Big S as my long shot of the day. Apparently, Charles and Terry disagree with me, but I also like Flat Lucky as well. This one's a track dropper coming in from Churchill Downs after claiming $40,000. Trainer Jamie Ness is 33% off the claim, and then a little bit better, 36% when he drops off the claim. Number 1, Franz Warrior. I like the last few races a lot, but I just don't like the rail position. This one will pressure for the lead. I'm not 100% sure he's going to get it, and Franz Warrior can struggle when she doesn't get the lead. Number 7, Red Fox is likely to be your pace setter. Ran similar 4 furlong fractions at 7 furlongs at 6.5 times the previous race. And I expect this one to be sharper in its third race off of the bench, Terry. Race number 4 is the next stop on the card. Let's talk about the conditions for race number 4. It's 1 mile and 70 yards on the turf course. Beautiful and sunny. I think it's supposed to be like 95 degrees there today, Terry. It's going to be hot. But this one's an optional claiming $16,000. A lot of conditions. Profile of a 1 mile, 70-yard grass goer at Parx looks like this. 8 races. 50% of them won by speed. 50% of them won by horses that came off the pace. But the interesting thing is, Terry, the 4 horses that won with speed, every single one of them went wire to wire. There's a strong rail bias here. 2 through 7 are the same, but with a tiny bonus. 8+ wins at half the rate it should really win at. You're going to start off with number 1.
That's correct. I like Husky Spirit because she won her debut race at Parx Racing, and the jockey in the last 7 days has a really good record. He's been in the money 10 out of 18 starts, win 6 of those. Then I like number 4, White Lilacs, whatever you want. She won her last race at Parx Racing and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 3, Frame This. She's been knocking on the door, finishing either 3rd or 2nd in her last 6 races. And then number 5, Monster Rising. She was eased back before the half mile and then closed really well in the stretch. Her best turf speed is fastest among today's starters.
All right, so in race number 4, I'm going to start off with White Lilacs. This one shipped in from Keeneland last time out to win the maiden race. I'm not a huge fan of the maiden and then Rise, but considering the horse had been facing much tougher competition at the Kentucky circuit there at Keeneland, went wire to wire in that Parx debut. So I think that race was won without a whole lot of effort. I think it's going to back it up with another really strong effort today. And really, I think this one is the class of the field. Number 5, Monster Rising, showed some speed numbers, jumped aggressively in her last 3 starts since moving to grass. Some regression last out, but still good enough, I think, to compete, possibly win here. Number 7, Let's Celebrate. Could be the pace setter here. Hung on to his speed a little bit longer in the second start off of the sidelines. So I expected to see the speed hang in there for a little longer in the third race off of the layoff. And then finally, I'm going to go with number 3, Frame This, as my final choice in this race. Frame This last time out did show some improved numbers across the board in stretching out from 6.5 to 7 furlongs. So I believe the additional distance for Frame This could make all the difference in the world. Terry, you know what? Today is Tuesday, right? It's Terry Tuesday, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Race 4-7 goes wire to wire in a rematch race. Look for off the day with a price pick closeout to pick 4. Yeah, I could go wire to wire. I think that's a possibility there. On Terry Tuesday, our Sean is back from vacation. He's ready to get back to work. You know what that means, Terry?
Yeah, you're going to have a really good guest tonight and a really good show.
Yes, tonight our guest is going to be at 8 p.m. It's going to be Alice Beckman. She's currently has 9 wins in 96 starts. So you're going to want to make sure you see what Alice has to say tonight at 8 p.m. If you have any questions for her, make sure you tune in right here on Horse Racing Radar TV. The easiest way to make sure you don't miss it, Terry, is to do what?
Is to subscribe to YouTube and check on the bell. They'll give you let you know that it's coming.
Absolutely. And you can also follow us along on our social sites. All the handles are the same for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Horse Race, the number 2, and then day. So Horse Race today, you see it on the scroll below down there. Make sure you subscribe, follow us, because our Swiss Army Sean is back now, and I'm sure he's reloaded his batteries and he's ready to fill us up with all sorts of great information on the social sites. You ready to move on to what? Race number 5 right now, Terry? Race number 5 is, he's on mute, poor guy, because that makes me echo. You can probably come off. We can try. Sometimes it goes away as the show goes on. So let's see if that's the case. So race 5 is 7 furlongs. It's an allowance $8,000. 3 years old and up, which have started for a claiming price of $8,000 or less since July the 5th of 2020. 7 furlongs as we look at the profile of a 7 furlong winner, Terry. They have run 128 races, 86 of which were first, second, or third at the quarter-mile marker, 40 of which went wire to wire. You do have a slight inside 3 bias and a slight discount from 4 out, so it's mostly fair, so to speak. Take us through your picks here in race number 5.
Well, I like number 4. Commissioner G is my first pick. He will be closing from deep to try and cross the finish line first. He has a high percentage winning trainer, has the highest last race speed rating, and he has the highest speed figure at today's distance. The jockey in the last 7 days has been in the money 11 out of 23 starts, winning 6 of those, 3 seconds and 2/3. Then my second pick is number 2, Forest Fire. He likes park racing, finishing in the money 43% of the time, winning 30% of those races. And he likes a distance where he's won 67% of the races. He has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 6 is my third pick, Hidden Promise. He was claimed in his last race by a trainer who wins 50% of the time when he takes a horse and drops it after a claim. And then number 7, Mock Trial. Today's distance is in his warehouse. He's been in the money 90% of the time at today's distance and won 36% of those races. And he has a highest speed rating of all the entries today.
Number 4, Commissioner G did show some significant late pace improvement in the last start, which ended up with the top last race speed figure, and is a pretty good fan of the distance, trying it 3 times, coming home with the top prize in a couple of those. Number 5, Talon Jack. The past performances say this one likes to run fresh. Some of the best Parx numbers in the field all around, so hopefully shows up today again. Number 3, JW Third Mischi, whatever that meant. I guess they ran out of F's. Showed some signs of early improvement in his last start. Has some speed and gets a weight break. I like that combination. Fast horses carrying less weight. And then finally, number 6, Hidden Promise, is a Kentucky track dropper. Does have some back speed. Resume says that some major improvement could be on tap as he makes his second start off the break. Race number 6, my friend, is a got to get the conditions here right. Is a 6.5 furlong optional claiming $16,000 race. And at 6.5 furlongs at Parx on the main track, they 112 times, 71 times. Horses that were in the first 3 at the first call managed to come home with the winning ticket. 35 led from gate to wire. You do have a slight rail bias, very slight rail bias, but the rest of the post positions play fair. Terry, this one is your long shot of the day.
It is, and my long shot's been doing really well. Won again yesterday. I think that's like the 3rd or 4th time in the last 3 or 4 days. Anyway, I like number 4, Turing Marianne. She has finished in the money in all 4 of her career races, winning 1 of the starts and finishing 3rd versus similar in her last race at Parx Racing. And then number 6, What Are You Waiting For? She has a lot of early speed, so a cut back in distance in this race will help her, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And then I like number 2, Titanic Rose. She finished 2nd versus similar in her last race at Parx Racing, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. And then number 1 is my 4th pick, My Corleana.
Corleana. It's the family out there. The Corleones. Isn't that the Corleones, the Godfather, right?
Yeah, it's the Godfather, yeah. So the rail post is winning at a 20% clip. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and she has a really good workout on June 25th.
As for me in race number 6, I'm going to fire away with the number 3 horse. You and I do we have any picks that agree here? Well, the 4 and 1. I like Tindari. This one comes in from Monmouth Park after her 3rd consecutive speed number increases in 3 races. Showed better 2 and 4 furlong pace numbers as well as fractions last time out. I'm a huge fan of horses that are showing that they're running faster. Number 10, this is Terry's house all the way. She wears the pants. Not a fan of the maiden claiming class risers, but record says this one is going to be better in the second start off of a layoff. Number 4, and the last time out would have been good enough for She Wears the Pants to probably wear the pants. Number 4, Touring Marianne, one of the more lightly raced horses in the field, and is another one here that I'm expecting improvement out of. And then finally, my Corleana, track dropper from Churchill Downs and Oak Lawn Parks. Does have some decent Parks workouts. I thought this race really was kind of wide open because I put down this as a tough call over the 2 and the 6. So 6 horses in here that I thought really you could make a case for. So it's not surprising that we have some different picks in race number 6. I think race number 6 also ends our hot dog pick 4. Is that correct, Terry?
That's correct, yes.
All right, so let's bring up the hot dog pick 4s. Take us through your thinking, Terry, and how you constructed your ticket.
All right. Well, I've got a 3x2 by 3x2, and it was pretty difficult to figure out what I wanted to do here because a lot of these races are pretty wide open. So
yeah, I am in agreement with you. I like I said, in a couple of races there, I felt like I could put 6 horses in them. So I went ahead and I just singled that 4 horse that's coming in from Keeneland. I feel like it's been facing tougher competition, and it is the most logical horse in that sequence to come away with the W. It was close to me for my best bet as well on the day, so that's why I went 3 by 1 by 4 by 3. If that 4 horse wins, I'm going to feel pretty good. But a lot of times when you hit them singles, you feel good, and then the big upset comes in that next race, right?
yeah, it does. It happens a lot. So
way too frequently for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
One catches rail and post position shipper wins easily in race number 7. Well, we haven't gotten to race number 7 yet, but we're going to get to race number 7 now. Terry, that is race number 6. 1, not race number 7. Okay, so you like the 1 horse in race number 6. I don't know. We both have the 1 horse at the back. Let's see if that indeed happens today. But when Charles talks like E.F. Hutton, people must listen. Race number 7, Terry, it is your box it up. But it also is the 4.5 furlong maiden $42,000 race. I think they've only run 3 of them so far. All of them won by horses that wire to wire. All of them were post 4 and out. Only a couple times has there been an 8 or more, and that 8 horse won every single time. So this is your box it up. 4 horses, exacta box, trifecta box, superfecta box. Go ahead. Why do you like this race of all races to do your box it up?
Well, first of all, yesterday my box it up hit the try, so that was pretty good. But these are females, and a lot of them haven't even started before. That's why it's 4.5 furlongs. But anyway, I like number 8, Ice. She is the first time starter whose dams has 1 winner out of 1 starter. The breeding suits today's sprint distance. She has her trainer who wins 30% of the races in 2-year-old's first race. And then I like number 1, Boss Like Beth. She finished 3rd versus similar in her last race and has a trainer who wins 27% of the races in maiden special weight races. And then number 4, Majestic Creed. She is also a first-time starter, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then number 4, 6, Abe's Army. Is the first-time starter, also has a bullet workout on June 27th and a high percentage winning trainer and jockey.
Abe's Army, otherwise known as the Union. Absolutely, right? All right, so for me, let's take a look where I'm going to go in race number 7. Let's see what's going on here. How many bets would you make off the card today, Terry? Well, I'll make a few off of the card, but what I'm always doing really, Belmont Ninja, thanks for joining us, by the way. We appreciate that. I'm actually using my picks, and I play them exactly as I post them to try to qualify for these national handicapping championships. I also play them in the contest, and I shouldn't promote them at all, because when I asked them if they would sponsor us, they were not the politest in their response, but I appreciate it anyway. At Horse Tourneys and horseplayers.com. And also, you can get a $10 free if you look over on for a stable duel. If you look over on horseracingtoday.net, there are some ads for that. Click on it. You can get a $10 free pool. So I'll be doing all those contests. That's where I do it. And I will make a few key bets along the way, but I 100% play all of my picks in those contests, trying to qualify for that's my focus for 2022, to qualify for the National Handicapping Contest, right?
Yes.
So Charles says that race 7, horse ready to fire. First time starter, nothing else in this race. Loves those Army mules. Belmont, do you play your best bet differently than other races? Usually with my best bet, when I'm out betting, what I'll typically do is I'll put it in an exacta or trifecta, and then I'll wheel it with my other favorite horses. So I'll take my top 3 or 4 other choices. I'll put my best bet first, and then the other 3 or 4 behind it for the exacta, and then flip them around. So I guess you can call it a wheel box, and then I'll do the same thing in a trifecta. And I'll usually also use it as a, I'm not a big fan of singling. I'll use it usually with one other horse in my vertical bets. Terry, what about you with your best bets?
I do a key box with my best bet and the other 3 horses, and then I do one way, which is the best bet on top, and then the 3 horses second. And usually my second choice, I do a $10 one, and my third and fourth choice, I do a $5 one.
So for me in race number 7, Terry, I'm gonna go ice, ice, baby, ding, 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 ding. This one's got some really good workouts at Laurel. Trainer Brittany Russell wins at 26% with first-time starters, and 35% when she teams up with jockey Javian Toledo. Number 6, there's that Army mule for you, Abe's Army, Bullet and Go. And if you read Barry Meadows' book, The Skeptical Handicapper, it is an alpha angle. So these first-time starters coming off the bench, when their last workout before heading to the track is a bullet, that wins in excess of 15%. So I call those alpha angles. Robert Moscow so far has won 3 of 10 with first-time starters on the year, but something's got to give, because he's 0 for 4 when he starts them in maiden special weights. So that's why I put it second. Number 2, Maggie has good workouts, including a 5 and 6 furlong workout. So of the first-time starters, I think Maggie could be the most fit. And then finally, number 4, Majestic Creed, best of the rest of the first-time starters based on the workouts. And I do feel like a first-time starter is going to collect the trophy here. I don't know if you saw on Twitter yesterday, but when the name Maggie popped up, Maggie Wolfendale, I guess, was getting some heat from somebody named Turf Master or something like that, because her husband, as many people know, is Tom Morley, who is a trainer. And she's, I guess, decided she's not going to comment on his horses. And some people took that as a negative, and some people took that as a positive. What are your thoughts on that, Terry? When one of those folks give racing advice, like a Maggie Wolfendale, is married into the business. I guess Acacia Courtney's Clement is going to probably go through the same issue now, with her husband being Christophe Clement's son. But what do you think about that? Do you think they should talk about their husbands or their loved ones' horses, or skip over them?
Well, yeah, I think if they can be, fair about it and not biased, they should, yeah. And I imagine that she's not going to, because she's had a lot of comments about that. But I think if they can be, like I said, with no biases and just be honest about it, yeah, talk about their horse.
So you ask why exactives versus win place bets. To be honest with you, here's my feeling. No, actually, I'm going to lie to you, but my feeling so I come from the stock market world, right? And I feel like, from my experience in the stock market, dealing with a lot of individual investors, and I know the people in the Wall Street world would probably, call me a heretic for saying there are some similarities between horse racing, and we're all, to me, what I would call all risk taking, right? So stock market, horse racing, betting on sports, whatever it is that you're playing probabilities. I feel like in order to really enjoy what you're doing, be it the stock market and horse racing, you have to match your bets to your personality. So if you're a more conservative person in terms of your risk management, then I would say, yeah, I would probably use my best bet as a win place show type guy. But I am a little bit more aggressive inherently with trying to get a better return. And because I'm a little bit more aggressive, I don't feel as comfortable playing win place bets as I do playing exotics because, and I've told this story before a long time ago, a real good friend of mine growing up, Joe, if you're ever watching, please reach out to me, gtsrichb@gmail.com. But a good friend of mine's father used to play blackjack for a living. And he understood the odds and probabilities. And he always told me, Rich, if you're going to play, you're going to gamble, always try to get the best payout. So for me, I feel like if I hit the exacta or trifecta, it fits my personality better, but also adheres to that advice that I'm going to get a better payout. So that's why I prefer the exotics. Terry, how about you?
Well, I actually do bet my first pick as a win. And if it's at least 3 or 4 to 1, I'll do a place too. But I do the win because it backs up my exactas. If I don't hit the exacta, but I do get the win, it'll pay for that a lot of times.
So stats is what you're talking about. A lot of these shows. So no problem, Belmont. So the reason I use a lot of stats, and I know Terry uses a lot of stats in what he's doing too. But again, I go back to the stock market world where I come from. And so you have qualitative and quantitative analysis, right? So the quantitative analysis is all data driven. And I first started out with all the data-driven stuff. And then many times, and one thing comes into, really brought this to the fore for me is why I want to combine my experience. So I do the statistical analysis, and then I go back and look at the qualitative analysis, and then I adjust according to my experience. And it's certain things that I've seen that work over and over and over again. So when I was working in the stock market, I don't know if you remember those companies that made those shoes with the wheels in them and the kids would annoy the hell out of you in the grocery stores. Do you know what I'm talking about, Terry?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So the company is called Wheelies. And I ran through my quantitative model and it said this company is going to smoke earnings. It absolutely smoked earnings. But then they came out and revised down because they said that they had a big inventory glut. So they had to cut prices in order to get the old stuff out and the new stuff in. And the stock got hammered. Well, if I had simply gone through the financial statements and did some simple basic analysis on inventory, I would have found that. That was a lesson imparted on to me. So you can trust the statistics, but you also have to go back, as Ronald Reagan said, trust but verify. That's been my policy with horse racing, the quantitative and then the qualitative. What do you say, Terry?
Yeah, I look at the data first. Then I take and look at the race itself and try to figure out how I think that race is going to run, whether it's going to be like only one speed horse maybe go to the front with nothing to push it, or if it's 2 or 3 speed horses and there's a couple of off the pace horses, then, I kind of try to figure out how that race is going to run and who's going to end up winning it that way. So.
All right. I thought I used the magic 8 balls to make my picks. Sometimes I feel like I should use a magic 8 ball. There's a couple of days, and every horse player will go through this where you're not sure if you read the right program.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I've been through it. So and that's a key too. Belmont, one other thing you have to understand is money management, right? You don't want to kill yourself on any particular race. So what I've always done, and I talk to Terry off the scenes, I come into the race day with a budget and I play that budget. If I hit, I start to put some of my profits in my pocket and then continue to work with the money that I have. If I don't hit and I use up my budget, that's it. I'm done. I don't need to chase because your experience would probably be like my experience. When you're hot, you're hot. And when you're not, you're not. So press the buttons when you're hot and walk away when you're not. That's
correct. That's a good way to look at it.
All right. So I think I got lost. We're on race number 8 now, right, Terry?
Yes.
All right. So race number 8. Thanks for the questions, by the way, Belmont. We appreciate that. And if you do like what you saw, make sure you tell your friends about us because this is a community. We're all here to help each other and hope that we can find the holy grail of horse racing, though I'm not sure it exists, but we can send Indiana Jones out on the trail to find it. Race number 8 is just 1 mile and 70 yards on the dirt this time, Terry. And at 1.70 miles on the dirt, there have been 174 races, 120 of which were won by speed, 42 going wire to wire. There is an absolute inside-out bias, so the closer you are to the rail, the higher win rates have been. This, Terry, is you're going to start with the 2-horse.
That's right.
Vento.
That's right. And he finished third versus similar in his last race at Parx Racing, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. And as you said, the inside post have a little bit of advantage. Number 8, Sailor again. He ran second and then won his last race at Parx Racing, and his early running speed will help his chances in here. And then number 4, Visual Artist. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and he had some good workouts. And then number 6, Patagoria 1. He finished third versus similar in his last race, has the highest last speed rating, a high percentage winning trainer, and in the last 14 days, the trainer has been in the money 4 out of 6 times, winning 2 of those.
Yes, indeed. You're getting paid with some gold there. With the inflation is helping out the gold bugs big time, 100% for sure. All right, I'm going to start race number 8 where you left off, Terry, with the 6. Category 1, this one did run the best last race speed figure, and I think you're going to see this horse right off of the front pace setters there, but has some of the best late pace numbers in the field. So I think adding some distance here today should be a benefit. Number 2, your top pick, my second choice, Vento, does like to run at Parx, done it 22 times, 6 wins, collected another 5 seconds and 3/3. Last time out showed some more interest at the end, and it's another one that's pretty close usually from beginning to end. Number 1, My Train, won his last race wire to wire. If he can get to the front, we'll have a chance to do it once again. And then finally, number 4, Visual Artist. This is the butt. I expect Visual Artist to get the jump on the 1 horse, which is why I don't think it'll go 1-1, because Visual Artist actually has a very strong early pace advantage over the rest of the field, although it's been fading late. But if it can get out and hold its lead into the stretch, maybe it'll have a chance to go on. Race number 9, Terry, brings up a couple of things for you and I. Terry and I like to race 8, but thought 4 might stalk with the heads jockey stay out of the duel. Yeah, and that's the one thing I thought is the 4 horse and the 1 horse could get out and kind of hurt each other and kind of mess up the early pace and open it up for something to come from right off of the pace. Before we get to race number 9, which is your best bet, my box it up, Terry, you also have a best bet today at Horseshoe, Indianapolis. Before we get to today's pick, how did yesterday's do?
Yeah, yesterday my first pick ran third again, but my second pick won the race and paid $8, $3.20, and $2.60. My third pick ran second, paying $3.20, $2.40. The exacta paid $10. The try for 50 cents paid $15.50. So far this month, if you played either my first or second pick, you've won every day. So anyway,
so keep it up, Terry, and you can always find Terry's best bet over at horseracingtoday.net. That is the mothership where Terry's best bet is every single day. You can also find some other interesting things on there. So take us through Horseshoe, Indianapolis, otherwise known as Indiana Grand, or as I call it, Hindi.
All right. Race number 3. I like number 5, Talk to Me Justice. She's finished in the money in 4 out of 4 races this year, winning 2 of those. She tried a mile in her last race and finished third as she faded a little at the end. But now she cuts back to 6 furlongs where she's already won. And then I like number 3, Royal to Be. She can either lead or come from off the pace to win a race, which is an angle I like. Finished second versus similar in her last race and has the highest speed figure at today's distance. And then number 7, E Street Angel. She finished in the money in 4 races in a row, winning 2 of those starts, went up in class and ran 5th. And now she drops back down to the class where she can be competitive again.
E Street, a little bit of Bruce Springsteen music for you right there, right, Terry?
Yes.
100%. So let's take a look at the next. Let's go ahead and move on to race number 9, where that you do have your best bet. It is a 6 furlong allowance, $25,000, purse of 33 grand, Terry. And when we talk a little bit about 6 furlongs before, you want to be fast. You don't want to be on the rail. And this one is your best bet, the 2-horse. So tell us why the 2-horse is your best bet, and then I'll tell you why it's my box it up.
Okay, number 2, Borsa Vento. He finished third versus similar in his last race at Parx Racing, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And then number 8, which is my second choice, Sailor again. He ran second and then won his last race at Parx Racing, and his early speed running style helps his chances. Number 4 is my third pick, Visual Artist. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey and some good workouts. And then number 6, Category 1. He finished third versus similar in his last race. Has the highest last race.
You did. I think you're on the wrong race, Terry.
Yeah. Really?
We're doing race number 9 because.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Race number 8.
You're right.
No, I'm always right, Terry.
I thought it sounded familiar.
Yeah, it did.
Well, I like number 2, Kobe B. He's won 3 races in a row and has the highest last speed rating, and a jockey in the last 7 days who's been in the money 10 out of 18 starts, 6 wins. Then I like number 1, Dixie's 2 cents Stents. He has finished in the money in all 5 of his races this year. He won 2 of those, finished second in his last race. He's trained by Jamie Ness, and Frankie Pennington is in the irons. Number 8, Airport is my third. He won his last race at Del Mar last October and has several workouts for his return to the races, and they're bullet workouts, and he switches to a high percentage winning jockey. Number 4 is my fourth pick, Haney Boys, or Hanny Boys, whatever way you want to pronounce it. He won his last race at Churchill Downs, has the highest last speed rating, and has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 50% of the time when he drops a horse off a claim.
Yeah, again, for me, Belmont, to me, I think there's a little bit of art and a little bit of science to horse racing, and that I might miss something in race number 4. For example, I say, I don't really like this race, but you might see something that you really like in that race because of, like I said, some art and some science in there. So I don't ever want to discount anybody by saying, I think this race is horrible. And then in its essence, talk people out of making a pick that they really liked because I felt like the horse race was horrible, in my opinion. But I do run through, we would really make the show forever because on our Saturday shows, when Terry and I used to do the stakes races, I do run through pace setup and all that kind of stuff in making my picks. We just don't put the graphics up because it would take forever. We unfortunately don't want to take forever, although we are kind of on that pace today. For me, race number 9 is my box it up, Terry. We have, again, 4 horses where we put together an exacta box, a trifecta box, and a superfecta box. So this, in essence, Belmont, would be where we're picking a race where we really feel confident about an opportunity to collect, where our horses have a high probability of finishing in the money, and we can get 3 bets out of 1 set of handicapping. So I like Kobe B2, Terry. Your best bot. 1 is last 3, and if you look at the past performances, absolutely none of them were close at all. It's going to sit behind the leaders like it has recently and then try to blow by them as they come to the finish line. Dixie's 2 Stents just missed in the last race as the favorite. Came in from Keeneland, Santa Anita, Delmar. And I think this one might just be good enough to overcome the post penalty. Number 4, Haney Boys. This one is coming in from Churchill Downs, Keeneland, and then Oaklawn Park. So clearly a track dropper here. And I do like the fact that the horse ran better fractions last time out. Again, a lot of times when I look back and look at my comments and I see a horse that ran better fractions in the previous race, and you can find our comments in the picks over at horseracingtoday.net. We always put up a summary of our picks and our comments over there every day once we're done with the show. So you can catch that over there. And then finally, number 3, High Velocity, has the most early pace in the field. And when you look at the start, this one's usually first or second when the gates open. So it gets off to a really quick start. If he can hold the lead into the stretch, and I have no doubt he'll be fighting for that lead right from the get-go. But if he holds that lead into the stretch, very capable of going from wire to wire on the front. That's my box it up for today, Terry. I'm going to move on to race number 10 now. Let's see. Charles says 1 horse towers over the field in race number 9. Easy win here. Second start on the track. The only thing is that post position, Charles, does freak me out a little bit. I did have it rated as my top horse there too, but that post position on the one at 6 furlongs, just for whatever reason, even some really good horses we've seen not be able to get the job done. Race number 10 is my best bet of the day, and that is let me go off to race number 10 here. It is a 6 furlong. Again, you stay away from the rail, but be fast. My best bet of the day here is a number 2, which is Sapphire Royalty. This one just ran extremely faster times last time out at 7 furlongs versus 6 furlongs. That was its second race at Parx, dropping in class here. So it ran faster. It's dropping in class, shortening up a little bit with a lot of early pace, and it's not in for a claim. So it's pretty clear here. They're here to cash a check, Terry. You also like the 2-horse.
I do, yeah. The 2-horse Sapphire Royalty, she's never been out of the money during her career, and she's won her last race at Parx Racing, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And the jockey in the last 7 days has had 7 in the money, 3 wins, a second, and 3/3. And I like number 3 as my second pick, Love on Fire. She has the highest speed rating figure at today's distance. Her best start speed is fast among today's starters. And her jockey has also done very well, winning 6 out of 18 starts. Then I like as my third pick, Empress Diana. Her trainer wins 22% of the time when bringing back a beaten favorite to race again, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Then I like number 1, Gia's Fugo. She has one.
Fugo. On Fire. Gia's
That's
Fire.
Right.
Fuego.
Right.
It's Fuego. Fuego. Yes. Gia's Fire.
Yeah. Well, she's won 3 out of 8 races this year, and the distance won't be a problem as she's won 4 races at today's distance.
So I mentioned why in race number 10 I like Sapphire Royalty. I think this one's one of the more logical picks on the card today. Number 7, Starship Rogue. This one appeared to find new form in her last race, which was the first start off. Despite coming out of the gate slow, she put in one of her best efforts, if not the best effort to date. I'm hoping the horse moves forward in the second start off the bench, but when you see a big jump like that, there is the opportunity for the horse to bounce as well. But I'm also looking for a price behind my 2-horse because I don't think that one's going to go off at 9 to 5. I think it'll probably be closer to 4 to 5. Number 6, Lula's Roadrunner has the best early pace and late pace combination in the field. Did run better for the first half mile in her last race. Missed by a neck at the wire. Not sure if 6 furlongs is the right distance for this horse. However, I think the horse might want 7 furlongs or more. And then finally, Love on Fire. Won the last time. She returned from some time off and spent some R&R in the barn and has some good workouts getting ready. The last race on the card today, Terry, is a 5 furlong race on the turf. It is a maiden, I think, $16,000 race. They've only run once so far for 5 furlongs on the Parx grass. And believe it or not, it was a horse that came from off the pace, Terry. So not a whole lot to work with there in terms of track bias, position bias, speed bias. But we somehow both landed on the same horse.
Yeah, I like number 8, Queen Cordelia. She's trained by trained by Jamie Ness and ridden by jockey Frankie Pennington. Has a high, yeah, that is a good one. Has the highest last speed rating, and the trainer wins 35% of the time when dropping a horse off of a claim. And then number 6, Designed to Dazzle. She has a good workout on June 10th at Monmouth Park. 35.4 breezing, second best out of 20, and she could improve with Lasix being added. Mm-hmm. And then number 2, Cash on First. She drops in class today, and her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Number 7 is my 4th pick, Jackie's the Fox. She tries turf for the first time, but her dams have got 3 winners from 5 starters, and 3 of those wins were turf winners. 3 of the horses. Drops in class today, and the trainer wins 25% of the time in maiden claiming races.
I agree with you. Queen Cordelia, to me, it looks like the most, logical fit here. It's coming in from Keeneland, Fairgrounds, does have a bullet workout. I just don't think this horse is going to be 5-2 morning line. I think this is another one that's going to probably drop maybe 6-5, maybe 4-5, somewhere in there, even money, because it just looks so much better than the rest, especially some of the scratches in here. Number 11, Nikki's Notion, going to try the grass for the first time. Does have some good early pace numbers, decent run in the lone off-track effort, which can be an indication of how a horse is going to handle the turf for the first time. The workouts are okay getting ready for this spot. Number 6, Design to Dazzle, drops in from Gulfstream Park. Had a lot of early pace in the lone turf sprint. It gets first Lasix. And you know how much I absolutely love that combination of a horse that's fast and fades and then gets a shot of Lasix. The fade goes away, but the speed doesn't. And then number 2, Cash on First. This one's dropping as well from a Gulfstream Park. Been flashing early speed and routes, but that doesn't always translate into speed at sprints. Does have the second best pedigree numbers in this field behind our top pick, Queen Cordelia. And along with being the last race on the card here, card looks very chalky today. Late best make your move money early today at Parx. Sound advice. Thank you, Charles. How long does it take to do a card? Oh, Terry, what, about 3 hours for you?
Yeah, about 3 hours.
Same here. Yeah, to go through all of it. That's why we only do one a day. Spend about 4 hours on 11 races to be one scratch horse comes out. You have to start over again with the pace and race. Yeah, you do. You got to start from the beginning
That's right.
when it all messes you up like that. Any shows that you can interact in? Well, you can interact here. I've seen a couple online where you can interact and maybe the people comment with you. They're all going to be shows like this. They're not really going to be shows where you have like the America's Day at the Races or stuff like that. So I would just look on YouTube. I did see one, and I see Charles in the comment section sometimes. I forget the name of the guy. He's bald. Charles, what's the guy's name? You know what show I'm talking about. The bald guy who sits in the corner of the window like this and talks about his races. I forget the name of the show, but you might want to check that out too. In any case, along with the last race of the card there, see, Charles probably knows what I'm talking about. The Shake-Up, that's it, on YouTube. Yep.
Yeah.
So check up the Shake-Up on YouTube. Take me 4 hours to do one race. One race. You can only play one race a day. Well, hopefully you can get better than that. You'll get quicker. Shake-Up. Yeah, so you're familiar with the show too, Belmont Ninja. So you don't need to do 4 hours in a card. Tomorrow we'll do the Delaware card, so you want to come back and check this out. We do Delaware on Wednesdays because it's one of the tracks that's allowed in Turkey on Wednesday, and for whatever reason, folks love to bet Delaware at Turkey. So we want to accommodate people from one end of the globe to the other, Terry.
That's right. Hey, right, the first race is going off right now at Parx, and the 4 broke really terrible, and the 3 that neither of us has won.
No, that's perfect. Well, that's a great way to get started. Right?
Yeah,
for sure. All right, so let's take a look at our prime rib pick. Well, before I do the prime rib pick 4, there's also the Philly 5 today, right?
Yes.
So the Philly 5 looks like this for Terry and I. Terry singled that 2 horse in the middle, Kobe B, which I think that race is a little bit more wide open than just a single there. But Kobe B has won 3 in a row and made them all look easy.
But the whole point is that I don't have enough budget to do what I want to do. So
yes, well, that's called life, Terry.
That's it.
I don't have enough budget to go buy a $4.5 million house down on the ocean front, which I'm thinking about.
Oh yeah,
in my next life.
I agree.
Or one of the ways that could happen. We'll talk about that in a minute. So I'm going to go 5. I think that first race is the most wide open. Then 3 by 3 by 2 by 2. I do think the 2 horse in race 10 and the 8 horse in race 11, if they run their races, will be extremely difficult to beat. Same with the 2 horse in race number 9. But I do think he's going to have a little bit more competition than in the next 2. As far as our prime rib pick 4s, they look like this. Terry's going to go the traditional 4-4-4-3 for $96. I am going to, as we talked about a little bit earlier on my best bet, the 2 horse. I was close to singling it, but I did want a little bit of backup at a price just in case a price comes home in that race. Because if you do beat a heavy favorite in these vertical bets, you're going to knock out half the tickets and blow up the payout. So that was my thinking there. All right, our full card picks once again. You can see Terry's best bet is in race number 9. Mine is in race number 10. So you can do a 2-2 best bet double there, perhaps. Terry's long shot, race number 6. The 4-horse mine is in race number 3. Terry's box it up is in race number 7. Mine's in race number 9. That's where we take 4 horses, put them in exacta, trifecta, superfecta box. Our hot dog pick 4s, which are going to start in race number 3. Hopefully we do better going forward than we started today. And then our prime rib pick 4s look like this. And then finally our Philly 5s kind of go like that.
That's right.
All right, Terry. That's Shake Chat. The Shake Up Chat is very interactive. Great show. Had all by all. Yeah, it looks like he has a lot of fun there for sure. I had 3, but prefer the 4 in race 1. And then great job, guys. Hope your horse catches the profile, the winner's circle luck. Thank you. We appreciate that, Charles. And like Charles, and also like Philip Perkins, Laney Whitmer, Eric Verboken, and Shahel Zahid. If you like what you saw, thank you for giving us the thumbs up and love on Facebook. We appreciate that. If you like it too, give us a thumbs up on Facebook. Also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Horse Race Today. Thumbs up as well are appreciated on YouTube. The more of them we get, the higher we go in their search algorithms, the more people we can get to the show, and the more interactive we can be, Belmont Ninja, because the more people who interact, the more interactive our show will become. Finally, if you're going to go bet today or tonight, or you're going to be in a contest this evening at Mountaineer Park, then you might want to check your picks against our free track today at Guaranteed Tip Sheet for Mountaineer Park. It is the free track tonight. There is a contest tonight, I think, in one of those places that wasn't very polite with us when we asked them if they'd like to sponsor us. And you'll see today the first pick. Well, it doesn't want to open up for me right now, so go ahead over to Mountaineer Park tonight if that's what you're doing. At the same time, Sean and I will return with Horse Center tonight. You're going to want to check that out. Tomorrow, Delaware for Terry and I. I'm not quite sure what we're doing Thursday yet, because a lot of tracks that usually ran on Thursday ran yesterday on the 4th of July, and they're not running Thursday. So we'll make up our mind before we get back here tomorrow. All right. Any final thoughts, Terry, before we go home?
Yeah, just first of all, if you like what you see here, as you said, need to subscribe on YouTube and give us a thumbs up and on our social platforms, because we've been doing really well. I mean, yesterday we hit the pick 4 in the last race. I had both of us had our best bet win. My long shot won, and Rich has been doing fantastic with a lot of his stuff. So yeah, just take a look at it, see what you like. Everybody to have a great day, and give all your loved ones a hug and a kiss, because you never know what's going to happen in life.
Yes, indeed. As I mentioned yesterday, I spent a lot of time trying to learn about things, one of which I'm focused on right now is trying to put the law of attraction to good work here. So if you want to be a winner, think like a winner. You'll be a winner. See yourself in the winner's circle, Terry, and you'll end up in the winner's circle. As always, we hope that your Terry Tuesday, not Taco Tuesday, but your Terry Tuesday ends up in the
winner's circle.
Absolutely. We'll see you tomorrow as we try to tackle Delaware Park. Have a great, great, great Terry Tuesday.